SGC here, and we're back with a movie review. London Has Fallen, the sequel to 2013's Olympus Has Fallen. This time we got a change of director. Last time was Antoine Fuqua, the director of Training Day and Equalizer. Well, because of Equalizer, he couldn't come back, so we got a new guy by the name of Babak Najafi. He's a Swedish director, and this is his American debut. And returning, we got Gerard Butler, Eckhart, and Morgan Freeman. Everyone else, check down below. So what's this film about? Well, basically, Olympus Has Fallen, the premise is carrying over to London Has Fallen. Instead of Olympus, we have London. So instead of the White House, we have the entirety of London. So the entire city. So the scale is a lot bigger. The whole reason of why they even go over there is Prime Minister of London died, and for some reason, all these big shots from all these different countries go to his funeral, and then things happen, because America. And that's basically the entire film. So what did I think? Well, there's tons of things that I thought about this film. I mean, looking at it, new director and all, 18% going into Rotten Tomatoes. I actually didn't know that people hated Olympus Has Fallen as much as they did, because I looked it up, 48%, and I was like, oh, I mean, as dumb as this movie was, the Olympus Has Fallen, it was enjoyable for what it was, though CinemaSins did show me that I was way too nice with my feelings about that film. But definitely, Olympus Has Fallen is so much better than White House Down, but for some reason, critics and audiences love White House Down. 51% White House Down, 48% Olympus Has Fallen. But who got a sequel? Huh! But anyway, I don't really get why they got a sequel and had this. I mean, the budget has increased. Last time around, it was around 70 million. Now we have 104 million as a budget. And the writers are the same. Screenplay, different people, but it's half. I mean, the writers are there. So it's like, screenplay was fine, I hope. But the director, I think that was the biggest thing, is that the director is new. Probably didn't know what was great about the first film. Great, anyway. But yeah, so let's just go through the system of the greatness. I mean, the good stuff in this film. Well, first off, I actually enjoyed Gerard Butler and Eckhart's chemistry as president and secret agent. And also Angela Bassett returning as the Secret Service director. They have this life talk, and that was a really, I don't know, side arc about his life progressing forward, about him having a kid, and it was just interesting in that sense. So I really loved the chemistry with the three, because it was just really, really happy. And I guess this movie is sad and devastating and what have you, so this happiness really stood out for me. Though the way that they wrote her off was just dumb, and actually, yeah, a lot of things are dumb, but before we get to that, the action here is different. I think this is technically the spiritual successor of the Die Hard series, because I can't really think of anything else close to this trying to be as Die Hard as B-side Die Hard. So you might not agree, but definitely people are seeing this as a Die Hard thing, because he's literally one dude kills 100 people. But Die Hard is better, though that's argumented until 4 and 5. But yeah, so if you remember Die Hard 1 was isolated one building. Olympus Has Fallen isolated one building. Then Die Hard 3 showed up, it was Die Hard in New York, now we have Olympus in London. Same problems, the scope was huge, but the down and gritty sort of action sequences, close quarter combat was pretty cool. He does get a little stabby friendly, and I actually enjoy that, because it was brutal, it was different. Because, I mean, we have tons of action sequences where it's just pow, 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 what have you. And for this to be so intense, oh, shudder, that just hurts. I enjoy that. The actual premise itself is intriguing in the sense how it occurred. We don't talk about it, but how it was executed was pretty cool. Basically, London Has Fallen is literal, as in tons of London architecture, locales, touristy places get owned. And coincidentally, there are people of these countries that are number one stationed around here, and then they go boom at the same time. So that was cool, and the whole action sequence of, oh my goodness, survive and run away was cool. But then, like I said before, there's a lot of dumb stuff here. I can go through a lot, but let's just say there's a lot of telling rather than showing. There's a lot of, this is the most protected area of all time, never before seen. Then they get owned. Like, what was that? What's the point? The fact that all these heads of countries are traveling by themselves, no security detail whatsoever, they get owned. What have you? This is not the craziest security detail, 13 teams, blah blah blah. There's a lot of talk in this movie, and not a lot of showing, so it's really boring. There's also this great example of a MI6 agent who literally shows up, and she is a badass. Well, she looks like one. And even Gerard Butler, excuse the language here, says, don't fuck with her. And literally, there is no sequence at all that justifies this line to begin with. She has no action scenes. Sure that at the end she figures out the whole plot, who the mole is, and the hacking thing. I mean, that doesn't really show how justifiable don't fuck with her sort of thing. And it was just kind of like, come on, like, just show it. Give me a scene where she owns like a group of 10 guys. Don't mess. You don't mess with a woman anyway, but don't mess with her, especially when she can take out 10 guys with a pair of chopsticks or whatever. Like, show, don't tell. So, the last quarter of the film, and I swear it just feels like the director or someone on production felt like, do you know what? Tracking shots are really popular nowadays, so let's just pull one off. And literally, if you play Call of Duty recently, you definitely seen this scene somewhere. It's literally just a Call of Duty cutscene, in-game graphics sort of thing. Tracking back and forth, and it just doesn't add anything to the narrative, nor the complexion of that scene, or what have you. Literally, anyone that shows up across the street or right in front of him dies, and it's literally a Call of Duty sequence. And it's just like, damn, this is dumb. Editing here really bothers me as well. They have these scenes where they're traveling across London or what have you, so it's point A to point B, but you have no idea where everything contextually is, but yet they're trying to make it so it look like they're walking really far, so they'll just have scenes where the two of them walk across the street, and then they'll edit, and make like just different scenes of them walking, and then it became The Walking Dead, basically. And also, the whole thing with Morgan Freeman, every time there's stock footage, is like, the White House, Morgan Freeman, White House, Morgan Freeman, White House. I mean, seriously, I know where Morgan Freeman is. You don't need to pull this to get me to know. And it's just, ugh. And talking about Morgan Freeman, holy crap, everyone in this room is just obsolete. They're badly written dialogue. Everyone is dumb. All the sort of cool characters, in the sense where they were tortured in the first movie, came back and they're in this room and they're dumb. It's just unprofessional and just dumb. And lastly, I think the most controversial thing about this movie is that it's super patriotic in a sense where America doesn't learn anything. Olympus Has Fallen was sort of a humbling experience because someone invaded them and you just have to protect yourself. But literally this movie is about drones hitting something, which started the entire sequence, and the drones hitting something at the end again. So there's this darkness to it, as in like, oh, America. And spoiler alert, Canada dies first. Thanks for the love, I guess. I don't know why they would kill us first, but I guess we're just not... Or we are the greatest ally, so we died first on the screen. So yeah, there's a lot of dumb things in this film, and definitely doesn't even get close to Olympus Has Fallen. I mean, Olympus Has Fallen was sort of more believable in a sense, and I felt that it was more organic. But here was just guns blazing and dumb things happening. But whatever. So, all in all, it's a dumb film. It could be entertaining. Gerard Butler delivers, I guess, in the action sequences, though he looks a lot older. And he really has that old uncle, I'm too old for this kind of face, but he's trying really hard to get in the action and being fit and all. Eckhart aged well. I mean, why am I talking aesthetically? But it's just like he didn't age, so it was fine. But Gerard just really looked old, and that wasn't appealing in the action cool guy sort of thing. So all in all, stabby action, interesting premise, a failed execution, and yeah, that is it. So if you have seen London Has Fallen, leave your comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that is it for this movie review for London Has Fallen. Later!